I'm Jessica Russo Scherr, and today I'm going to teach you some sculpture techniques. We're going to be using reed, wire, and paper as our main foundations for creating a sculpture that has volume, that has a three-dimensional shape. First, I'll teach you some attachment techniques, and then we're going to work on how we can combine those techniques to create a sculpture. Some of the materials you need are reed, some wire. I'm going to be using a variety of different types of wire, regular white glue, perhaps some hot glue, wire cutters, and some tracing paper or plain paper. Any sort of thin paper will work. For this project, we're really looking to manipulate the materials to create a volume, to create forms that are three-dimensional, that can be expressive. And we're going to be working on making some organic shapes and some manipulating the reed to create a volume. So using the reed, if you soak it in water, it becomes more flexible. It means it will be less brittle when you try to turn it and shape it into different forms. Using wire, I can twist them into different shapes and form them into these organic forms. These organic forms are held together by wire, and you can use a variety of different types of wire. The only thing you need to know is if you're attaching them by wire, one reed will lay on top of another reed, and this may make it more complicated if you're trying to, quote, skin it with paper. When you're twisting a wire around, you want to think of whether you want to cross the other reed or you want it to lie in alignment with the other reed. So if you want to cross it, you have to make sure that you put the wire not just around one direction, but kind of do a star shape, go in between each of the reeds that you are attaching. I'm using a variety of different reeds, and I can cut them to the size and shape that I want in order to create the form that I like. And I can work on attaching them to the different reeds in my structure. The reed can even be bent into certain places where it will keep its form. And depending on how flexible it is, you can use those bends to help create different structures. You can use a glue gun or tape to attach them, or of course wire. So if I wanted to make more of a, let's say, a leaf shape, and then I can just wrap the end in a piece of masking tape, which is fine if the masking tape is going to be covered. You don't want masking tape to be visible on your sculpture because that'll just look really bad. But if I plan on covering this, then that could work. Now, if I want to intersect the reed this way, I can't just wrap tape around it one way. I have to go crossways and diagonal around. So I want to put a piece of tape this way to hold it from one cross direction to the next. And that might hold it a little bit. That's not so bad. But I might need another support going this way. You can also make more of a skeleton for the form that you're making. In this case, I'm making 3 rings. Each one gets slightly larger, and I'm using tape to attach the ends of the rings together. I cut reeds to size, and I'm using a glue gun to try to attach it, and this is not easy. The reason why you would want to do this is if you don't want a lot of bulky tape, but the problem with it is that your fingers could get burned and you have to hold it in place for a long time and blow on it until it dries. You can get the same effect if you use masking tape, but you don't want the masking tape to be visible on the outside of your sculpture. So this is only effective if you're going to cover up that part of the sculpture with something else, like maybe wrap raffia around it or cover it in paper or wire or something else. Speaking of tape, there's other tapes that might look cooler if they have to be visible. And there's some metal tape that looks really nice and shiny, but it could be a little overdone and maybe a little too dominant for your sculpture. And here's what that form looks like when it's all done and put together. And I could add other materials onto this to continue my sculpture. Paper can be used in a lot of different ways to add volumes to your sculpture. You could use origami to create different folded shapes that can fill a space within the reed sculpture. You could also choose to use a lightweight paper like a tracing paper or a tissue paper to cover the outside form or parts of the outside form of the reed, and this is called skinning. And skinning is a term that we take from lantern making, where you would use tissue paper or light paper to cover the outside of the reeds. There are a couple approaches to skinning. One is where you just attach paper to the edges of the reeds, and the other is by doing more of a paper mache technique, and I'm going to show you both. Let's start with the paper mache technique. You need a brush, paper mache, and usually some sort of plastic that you can lay the paper down and apply the paper mache to it. And of course you need some tissue paper or tracing paper or any lightweight paper. Actually, tissue paper is a little thin for this process and you have to use lots and lots of layers and it tends to break a little bit. You can cut the piece so it fits the shape that you want to cover, or my preference is to use a bunch of little strips. Dip the paintbrush bristles into the paper mache and gently apply it onto the tissue paper. Liberally, it's good to have it pretty soaking wet. Place it over your reed frame and try to get it attached as best as possible, wrapping the edges around the reed. And this is where you have to be careful. If you put it face down on the table or on your plastic thing, it will break. So please be careful. Add more coats to the area with more pieces of tissue paper covered in paper mache. Here I taped my sculpture in place so it could stay up and I could paper mache a little bit easier. I added several more coats to that section and began working on some of the other sections of my reed structure. After that, I wanted to try a piece of brown neutral tissue paper. It's slightly thicker than the other paper, and I only needed to add 2 coats of this to get it nice and covered, but it does rip still, so you have to be a little bit more careful around the edges and when you're pulling on it. I also was able to tear this right along the reed edge to give a more finished look. And here's the same process, but with a toned yellowish parchment colored tracing paper. I tore up much smaller strips and added them layer by layer, and I left a little bit of overhang that I'm going to trim when it's completely dry. At this point, I decided to hang my sculpture from the ceiling so I could work on it a little bit easier without it worrying about touching the table. And this way I could also let it dry by hanging. It's been a couple hours and it's dry enough for me to trim off the areas that overlapped. And I just need a pair of scissors and I want to cut as close to the reed edge as possible. As the paper mache hardens up, the skinning tightens up the overall frame. The whole sculpture gets a little bit more firmer and more secure. But there's more than one way to skin a sculpture, and there's also this option for skinning if you don't want to use paper mache. Cut a piece of tracing paper to size a little bit bigger than your form, and then use a white glue, a thick white glue, and a brush to cover the edges and push the paper down on it. After it is fully dry, I can then go through and I can cut really close to the edge with scissors. Now, of course, when you start building your sculpture, you're not just going to have a little hoop. So this will become a little bit more complicated when it's attached to the bigger sculpture. Using this method, Skinning a 3D form gets a little bit more complicated because everything tends to move around and it needs to curve around the form that you're doing. So first try to get a piece of tracing paper or tissue paper that is just slightly bigger than the area you want to cover. Use your water, brush, and glue and apply a decent amount of the glue on your reed. And then similar to a two-dimensional form, you press the tracing paper or thin paper around the edge and try to push it on into all the little bits of glue to make sure it's held on very securely. This may take a few minutes, and depending on the shape you're trying to cover, it may want to try to pop off. And this is also where a little bit of planning comes in, because you have to wait until that area dries before you can trim it or before you can do the shape that's directly next to it. So you kind of need to work on the opposite side of the sculpture, someplace further away, let them dry before you can start the trimming process. And here's a quick look of what it would look like to skin a more complex form with this technique. Apply glue, hold on the tracing paper, and pray it stays. When the glue has fully dried, then you can go through with scissors or an X-Acto knife and trim off the excess. And then you can repeat the process on the in-between shapes that touch the ones that you have already skinned. I have to be honest, I prefer the paper mache way because I get glue everywhere when I do this method. Along with form, we should consider texture. Wire can be added not just as a way to secure the reeds together, but also used as a decorative element. In this case, I wanted to create some more texture, so I used this really pretty copper wire. I spun it around a pencil and a paintbrush to create these sort of spirally looks, and then attached it onto the reed frame. I really like how these wires look, and I'm probably going to add more later, but I want to see how the rest of the sculpture turns out before I make that sort of commitment. Along with the reed, I also bought in some extra natural material like raffia. The raffia comes tangled up like this. Take a few pieces, get it untangled. And I got my raffia, and I'm using that to add some extra dimension to my forms, another way to sort of skin some of my shapes. And I could also just wrap it around individual reeds if I wanted a little bit more texture. Once the raffia is fully wrapped around the different parts of the sculpture, I like to tie it in place, but then I always use like a little tiny bit of hot glue just to make sure it's secure. You can also use the tracing paper for more than just skinning. I like to use it to collage on areas. And with this, I just use glue, or I could use gel medium, and apply layer upon layer of the transparent paper onto the sculpture. At this point, I realized I wanted a little bit more volume, so I started with the glue gun. And it's really important when you're using the glue gun not to burn your fingers, which I do all of the time. So especially with working with thin paper, I crumbled up some paper, applied some glue, and then tried to stick the paper on and not get any of my fingers burnt in the process. Here I am giving it another quick look to see how it's turning out and what areas I still want to work on. Definitely want to add more wire to it. It's really important to look at the sculpture from all different points of view, and in art we call this in the round. So we want the sculpture to be interesting in the round. So interesting from all angles. At this point, I went in and I used some paper mache skinning with the parchment colored paper mache to give a little extra texture and variety to the sculpture. And now that it's all dry, I'm taking a look at it from another view, hanging, to see how all those elements are coming together and whether this is going to be the final version of my sculpture.